Alright, this is continuing the Su-25 Frogfoot, hopefully short video tutorials. The last video was a little bit long, but that went through all of the, pretty much all the gauges, and I went through a lot of the armament and munitions. So in this video, we're going to do a quick takeoff, and we'll just do a quick takeoff around the pattern. So because we're just going to be flying around the pattern, come back and land, I'm going to take off I'll take off vehicle damage and player damage just because I don't want any, ships or anything shooting at us. So we're going to leave the camera on. We don't need the laser on. So we'll go through a quick startup procedure. As you see, we're still losing battery from the last time. Master power goes on. Bring up all our screens. Next thing we need to do is press the engine start stop key. We want to make sure our throttle is all the way back so that we don't, start accelerating forwards. We'll also make sure our brake is on. All right, so we just heard our engines turn on. So now, I closed the canopy in our last video, so we'll close it up again. Now I'm going to release the brake, and I'll set up the flaps for takeoff. So I'll just do 50%. We can really take off with any flap setting, but I like to either do 50 to 100% for takeoff. So I'm going to just start increasing the throttle. Now I showed last time how very low sensitivity the throttle is. So even with that very low sensitivity, as you can see, that gives us a good chance to have a nice slow taxi. So the left and right arrow keys on our keyboard let us steer the nose wheel, as you can see. So we'll be able to steer our aircraft around. All right, the down arrow is our brake. So I'm going to hold the down arrow, and as you can see, we come to a stop. So that's going to be our controls for taxiing and using the brakes. All right, so I'm just going to taxi in a position. I'm going to tap the brakes here. We'll get lined up. All right, and I'm going to shut the camera off just so it's not distracting us. All right, so rotation speed on this is going to be about 100 knots. So you want to slowly increase the throttle, maintain center line, and then when you get to about 100 knots, you just pitch back with the S key. Nice, easy takeoff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we'll look at our gear first, just see how our gear look. As you can see, we have nice flush mount gear. We have 2 open wheel wells for our mains. All 3 gear will both rotate and come up, and then the doors will close to give us a flush mount look. So I'm going to quickly click the gear switch, and we'll look back outside. And as you see, gear all rotated up and are stowed. All right, next thing we'll do is we'll raise our flaps, and that's it. We've taken off. So I'm just going to do a quick little bank around, and let's see if we can land on the runway we took off of. Yep. So let's do a quick turnaround, and we'll just land right back on that runway. All right, so approach speed, I like to do between 90 and 100 knots. This aircraft does not like to get below 90. It starts to have a lot of stall characteristics. So let's lower the gear. We'll watch them come down. All right, beautiful. And we'll put in full flaps all the way down. All right, we'll check our speed. We're 124 knots. So as I was saying before, I have nice low sensitivity on the throttle. That allows us to do really precise controls of our aircraft. All right, so we're just going to come in. We'll use those 2 large square markings on a runway are called the aiming bars. So we're getting a little slow, so I'm going to add a little thrust. So even with that low sensitivity in the throttle, it allows me to make really nice changes on our airspeed. All right, so I just reduced the throttle, and we could come to a stop, and I'm going to just start tapping the down arrow. That's our brakes, and we can use our nose wheel steering, left and right arrows to taxi. And as you can see, it was a little bit of a plop of a landing, but that was just me trying to talk and land at the same time. All right, so here we come in, and nice, quick and easy. It's nice and maneuverable on the ground. I'm going to hold the down arrow, and then I'm going to put on the brakes. And that's, and I still had some throttle up. That's where it's still moving. All right, so shutdown procedure is super easy. Engine start, stop, shuts off the engine. Master power shuts that off. The canopy continues to be connected to electricity because it's on a flip switch, and we can jump out. All right, so that's how easy it is to take off and land in the Frogfoot. All right, in the next video, we'll do some gun work. Thanks for watching.